That might have just voided the US warranty.
Hello, moon.
I got wet. Oh, you know what the issue is?
What?
Rex Lint is blocking the whole
The whole frame is Rex Lint.
When Nikon called me and described the D4 and I saw the list of technical attributes, I realized this was an amazing opportunity to do something that was more than just visuals put to music, but actually to tell a story with voice. The line between conventional still cameras and conventional video cameras just continues to get blurred. I really wanted to take a close look at what motivates high-end adventure athletes to push themselves to the limit. Quickly, the subject and the title of the film became why. It was getting inside the heads of some of the most elite adventure athletes on the planet. This was a super aggressive schedule to try to shoot 3 athletes in 3 unique geographic locations in just a 12-day window. We had over 20 cases of equipment that needed to travel with us. We had only 3 days per location, and in those days we were trying to pack a lot in. We were scouting for the first time, we were planning logistics, coordinating any type of rigging that needed to take place, shooting for 2 days, and that was our weather window. If something went wrong, we only had those 3 days.
We are in Veracruz, Mexico, and after about 24 hours of travel, we're finally close to the first waterfalls.
The challenge in Mexico really was finding, in a limited amount of time, the right river environments that allowed us to shoot as much quantity of content as possible.
We're heading down to our first feature, Filmada Cascada. We're excited about it because it looks great, but Dane's got to be able to run this thing without dying.
We knew we were going to be limited by how many times Dane was willing to drop the big waterfalls. It's a lot of impact on the body. There's definitely risk. It's definitely dangerous.
This is doable.
This is definitely, I'm glad it's
And it turned out that Dane ended up dropping one of the largest waterfalls of his life, Tamata Falls. It was a great privilege to be able to capture something that was actually both meaningful for the film, but also meaningful in turn for Dane. I think in Veracruz, the ability to really rappel right down to the lip of the waterfall and move the camera, just literally 2 feet from Dane's head as he came flying out over the drop, allowed for a new visual. And that's always what I'm striving for, is how do we show the world in a new way?
That's pretty neat.
Yeah. See the whole pool back there?
Yeah.
I really wanted tons of camera movement, so we brought Mike and his heli along for the entire trip. We tried to be methodical and safe about each shot, but on day 2 we pushed it a little too far.
We got a ditch in the woods. Heli down, heli down. Good save, Mike. Way to keep it out of the water.
The camera made it. The chopper's mostly intact, and it'll live to fly another day. Yeah.
One of the things you don't see in the Y film is actually where we were, like the idea that we're in Mexico. We're in the heart of Mexico in Veracruz, where the culture is alive, the colors are vibrant, the food is fantastic, there's cold beer at every meal. And that's really something that with more time I probably would have included in the film, but there's a point at which you have to decide what is the core story. And the color of Mexico just didn't fit into that.
This is the other 50% of what we do when we're not shooting. We're really just baggage handlers. Photography and filmmaking require a lot of gear. We pack, unpack, repack, unpack, travel a little bit, then pack and unpack a handful of times.
Over the years, I've spent a lot of time in Moab, Utah, and it's one of my favorite destinations because of the fantastic landscape, red rock, and some of the most brilliant, vibrant light that I've ever seen. And when you put a great athlete like Rebecca Rush on a bike that she can seemingly ride any place, nothing's too difficult, I knew we had the ingredients for putting together a great segment for Rebecca.
I should be getting paid more, I think. Please, Rebecca, do you think maybe you could ride a little?
Hello, is this Rebecca's agent? Yeah, we're done with her. She's a pain. No, I'm pissed. Responsibility.
Hello. Hello world. Hello world. Hello world. Every day we create like 200, 300 gigs a day. Tons of cards. We only use Extreme Pro cards. They're the best we got out here. Download them, triplicate to the hard drives, verify all 3 hard drives to make sure they're there. After that, we go back and format all the cards, send them out in the field for tomorrow.
We're shooting in a challenging desert environment. It's very windy and dusty. Every night we're cleaning them off, making sure the glass is clean and clear for the next day's shoot.
Just polishing the alley.
Yeah, we're just rebuilding her after the mishap the other day, but
Mishap, the Mexico crash? Mr. Casual. Mike's probably the only chopper pilot we have around that's crashed once, then flying the next day with a camera.
In Moab, we finally had the opportunity to really start capturing time-lapse sequences, which I envisioned being a huge part of the Y film. It helped portray the beautiful landscapes where we were working. It's part of the appeal for these athletes and why they do what they do. With the time-lapse photography feature, we could shoot our time-lapse, and in-camera it generated a video clip which allowed us to just press play.
All right, a couple of the cool new features to the D4. One, I think it's the most exciting, which is we can now monitor sound through a headset and see an audio meter. Additionally, we are running an external monitor out of the camera while we still maintain image on the back of the camera. This is a huge step forward in terms of sound and monitoring image with the D4.
We're here, Joshua Tree, day 13. Sending in our chief negotiator. We seem to have had pretty good luck so far on this trip.
By the time we arrived in Joshua Tree National Park, as a crew, we really had our act together. We knew what we needed to accomplish. We had been checking stuff off the shot list. We had a lot of content in the can. You know, there are these amazing piles of rock out in the desert, and on those piles are these hidden gems, which are rock climbs, and there's cool caves to climb through and amazing vegetation. And that's really part of the experience for any visitor to the park, is being in this wild, moon-like landscape. And so getting to the cliff was equally as important to me from a story perspective as actually watching Alex free solo Equinox. Working with Alex was unlike the other 2 athletes. What Alex was doing was much, much riskier. That line between life and death was a lot thinner. And so we had very, very limited opportunity to make those shots count. And so it's very strategic, very analytical, where we put the cameras, how we approached documenting each of those situations. The hardships and challenges that come up along the way on a production like this, it's getting pulled over by police and talking yourself out of tickets. It's going to the urgent care because Dane's feet wouldn't fit into his shoes anymore. He'd been stung by so many mosquitoes. We worked straight through Thanksgiving. None of that matters. At the end of the day, we need to create a compelling, interesting film. And all of those challenges, that's what makes it fun.
This is the money right now.
One of the neatest things about working on a production with a group of people is we all have the same goal in mind. We all are contributing to gathering great content to tell a fantastic story. Tools like the D4 are enabling guys like me and you to go out and make high-end content with devices that are attainable. The It's an exciting future that we're entering into. In the beginning, I really thought the title of this film would be Why, W-H-Y, with a question mark at the end. But as we shot, it became much clearer as I listened to the athletes and I watched them perform at the highest level. The film was really a statement of why. This is why they do it. I put together a team of people that I really wanted to spend time around, but who were also equally as passionate about telling the story of why. And it's that camaraderie. It's when you're exhausted and you're working hard, and you still need to be able to look at the folks you're working with and have a big smile on your face, because this is what you love doing.